Hi, I am Joey, and I would like to use this opportunity to invite you to join the Datana ERP Partners Program. The Partners Program seeks to explore and also invite partners on board, partners with skills in sales business, pharmacy business, restaurant business, accounting, financing, business administration, and more. The goal is to be able to use this platform to train these partners so they can go out there and set up Datana ERP software to businesses that are within their network, domain, and expertise. Partners also have the opportunity to build their own teams, expand, and hey, we are just setting up the stage. The partners come on board and play as far as they want to play. Partners also have a revenue sharing model that gains them profit and benefit from the standard pricing that Datana ERP offers. So what are you waiting for? If you are excited to be a partner at Datana ERP, then this training video is for you. Stay tuned. Bye-bye. All right, so let's delve in. This is going to be a partners training program, and the sole purpose of this training is to be able to tell you what Datana ERP is about. So Datana ERP is a software that allows businesses to manage their e-commerce, as you can see over here. Basically, products, orders, payments, fulfillment, that is integrated. So you have actually store interface where where businesses can list their products and people can actually buy from them. And then on top of that, we also manage inventory and POS. So basically, if you have multiple branches, barcode, badges, order level POS terminals, we help you track your inventory as you are selling and purchasing inventory. Now, analytics and reporting. So we also provide live dashboards for you to be able to understand your business. It is built with Ghanaian compliance in mind, which means that it is built with Ghanaian compliance in mind, which means that you'll be able to generate all the reports, export your data to Excel whenever you want, and then do further analysis. Manufacturing, we help you track your bill of material and also wastage and variance tracking. HR and payroll, so you can read about all the other HR services, attendance, leave, payroll, expenses, assets approval, and audit trails and all of that. And then it's integrated with SMS, so it means that when someone places an order from your shop, you can get an invoice in the form of an SMS. Even so, if you're not connected to the internet, you can still go ahead and then deliver the item. And if you're interested in reading about the advanced analytics, customer reports and analytics, inventory reporting and analytics, accounting and financial audit and analytics, HR and payroll and demand and supply analytics, then you can take time and visit www.datanaerp.com to read about the extra features that the software provides. So quickly, I would basically invite the partner to pay attention, or whoever is going to be trained to pay attention to this part of the video. When you look at this part, when you are trying to set up the software for a business, the first thing you have to look at is to do what we call kickoff and scoping. What means is that you confirm the roles, who are the people that are going to be working with the software, and then be able to know that, okay, these are the number of accounts users I need. And then once you are able to do that, the second step is to look at what data the business has. When you go into a new business, they might have data about their inventory, the name of the items or the products, the cost at which they buy each of these products or pieces of this product, or the units of measurement of this product from the market. How much does it cost them? How much are they selling it for? How many do they have in stock as at when you are trying to set up the software? So you can put this in a very simple Excel sheet. I'll teach you how to do that. And then you basically set up other important workflows like the taxes, like the discounts, if there is any. There's different branches of the stores, set all those up in the system. And then basically once you are done, you try and test the system, and then you train the team, and then you do what we call a soft launch, and then you go into a full switch model, right? So quickly, without wasting much time, let's log in and then see how we can do that. So when you have an account as a partner, you'll be given basically login details. So once the software or the account is approved from our end, as a partner, you'll be given a login detail, and the login detail can just be the email and the password, right? So you go to Datana ERP and then you click on sign in, and then you will log in. Now, once you log in, you are going to be met with an interface similar to what I am seeing here, or what you're seeing here. Now, where you are going to be working the most, or the part where you are going to be doing most of the work, is on the left side of the menu. This is where the setup begins, right? So once your account is activated, okay, once you click on manage organization, this is basically going to be a point where you are going to upload the logo of the business. So you click here and then upload the logo of the business, right? You select and then upload the logo of the business. The name of the organization is already probably going to be there, and other details are going to be there right from setup, right? And then maybe the website of the organization too is going to be there, right? And then once you do that, on your right hand side, you click on the button to save this up, okay? And also, if there is going to be any banner of the organization, you can click here to update that, because at that point you are going to be having an online store that's going to be shared. So you have to put the store banner here for it to display very nicely, right? So once you do the organizational setup, the next setup you have to actually take into consideration, which is important, is the people that you are working with. So we come all the way up here and then we click on people. People involve customers, suppliers, and stores. So let's first of all create a store. So you have to create a store to start to do with anything. So you can see many stores or branches that you've created on the system here. How do you create a store? So you may not have anything here, but how do you create a store? You click on a new store, put in the name of the branch, maybe Atomic Kumasi branch, then the location of the branch, maybe Accra, wherever it is, the contact of that particular branch of the business, you put it there. You can enable it as a warehouse, which means that you'll be storing stuff there. Select the region, whether it's Greater Accra, whatever region it is. Then the store type, whether it's a normal store, operate as a bar, or just a warehouse. Then you put in the mapped ID, or you can allocate a specific ID. So you can say this is store number 1. Then you describe the store and put the description of the store here, whether it is, okay, first store, second store, Atomic branch. And then once you are done, you click on submit. So once you submit, your store will appear in the list over here, right? Now, the price list of the store here is going to be none, because you've not set up any pricing or product pricing in the system. So you wait, right? Now, once you have actually added a store or a branch of the business onto the system, the next thing to do is to go to your customers, right? Your customers you can import them if you have them in the Excel sheet. So or you can export them for any purpose you want. So you can basically or you can just add customers manually. So you can click on add customer, the name of your first customer, the email address, and all of that. Okay, then you save. So at least you add one customer to the system, right? And then you go to your suppliers. Suppliers are people that supply you the product, and as you can see, you may not have any suppliers in your list. So what do? You basically click on new supplier. Maybe this supplier supplies you chicken, so you just put their name there, or this business supplies you chicken, their contact number, their email address, and everything. So once that supplier is added, okay, that supplier who supplies you your product is added, the system automatically creates an account for that supplier to track all further deliveries and other purchases you purchase from that supplier. So these are several invoices, and it also tells you the balance, whether you are owing the supplier or not. So this way you are able to track whether you are purchasing by credit or by cash. You are able to track all suppliers, which of them you are owing, which of them you are not owing. So you understand that, okay, at every point in the business, all the invoices and the items you are purchasing from that supplier is assigned to that supplier. So before you can purchase, you must have all your supplier lists in the system, so that when you are purchasing product to start selling, or the business is purchasing product to start selling, they may assign it to your supplier so that they can always track the invoice and the status of the invoice until you completely finish paying your suppliers, right? So how do you add a supplier? Like I've already explained it to you. Just go up here and click new supplier. So under people, once you have done all of this, it means that you have successfully configured the system to go to the next step. Then the next step is what we call the user management. The user management aspect of the business. Now you've set up a branch, you've set up your suppliers, you have what you call the user list and the roles and all of that. But what we are going to be looking at more is the user list. So the user list is all the approved people that are supposed to be what on the system, on the software. So for you, there will be nothing. Maybe there will be just only your account and then the administrative account we gave you, right? We don't encourage you to share that with the businesses. So you have to set up new accounts for the same new users for the same account. So you click on a new user, and then the full name of the user, the email address of the user, which has to be unique, the branch you are assigning that user to. So the branch you just created will appear here. The role of that user, whether the person is an administrator, means that they can also have administrative control over the system, or they are just an accountant, a cashier, a stock manager, or an HR person. So once you select the role, you select the status as active, then you assign them a password that they will be using to access the system. So the email and then the password, once you are done, you submit, and then they appear to become a user on the system, meaning that now they can have access to the software. Once they go to datanaerp.com, they can log in and have access to the account and then perform the administrative roles and the privileges you have assigned them. All right. So you can create all the salespersons here, you can create all your accountants here, you can create all the cashiers here, and then select the level of access you want to grant them. Right. All right. So once that is done, you have your user list. As for roles and user, and then your user profile. So your user profile is for you. When you log in, you can change your name and update things that are relevant on the platform. Right. Now, what is the next step? After you've sorted out the people, you've also set up the users. The next thing that you are supposed to do is to basically go down here and then begin to configure the general settings of the system. Right. So the general settings of the system is very straightforward. The most things you are going to be doing here is maybe discount, taxes, and and then the pay types. Those are the main things. So when we click on pay types, what are pay types? Pay types are actually standard required payment methods that are supposed to be put in the system. So as you can see here, the payment methods here are credit, means that the people you sell on credit and they'll come and pay you later. Bank, Momo, card, website, cash. Okay, the key words are credit, bank, Momo, card, and cash. Okay, cash. Now what does this mean? It means that when you click here, you won't see any list on the right because you have not added any payment. So you come here and then type in exactly as cash as you are seeing it, meaning that on the POS interface, when they are checking out, the cash model will appear. So the accounting side of the business knows that this is a cash transaction, this is a Momo transaction, this is a bank transaction, this is a credit transaction. So the keywords are supposed to be the same as you are seeing it here. So you type in cash as you are seeing it here. Description can be how you want to describe it, but still cash. And then the status has to be what? Enable, and then you save. Then it will appear on the right hand side. So you do that for credit, you do that for bank, same as you are seeing here, bank, Momo, card. And the first words are capital, as you can see, so that it will appear on the right hand side. So that now this payment method is acknowledged by the system and can be used to describe all transactions that will be done on the POS interface. Now that you've successfully set up all the payment types, the next part is to look at the taxes. Now we are in an economy that actually charges taxes. Depending on the kind of business, whether it's a restaurant, pharmacy, you have to understand with the business and the business owner what kind of taxes that are charged. VAT, of course, is a system default, so it's always going to be there. So the first tax handle you add to the system is the VAT, the capital VAT. It must be capital VAT. That's the first tax handle you put in the system. Okay, whether the business tells you they charge VAT or not, you have to still put in the VAT description in the system, and then also describe here as VAT, and then you can assign the rate. If they say they don't charge it, then you can leave the rate to be 0.0. If they say they charge it, then you can let the rate be 15.0, depending on the arrangement you have. Then you enable it, okay, and then you here is very important, you enable it for sales so that it will apply to all the sales that are happening currently within the organization. You click on save and then it's going to appear here. Then the other taxes like tourism, NHIL, whatever other taxes that are there, you add them. If they don't charge it, then you put the rates as 0.00. Once you add all the tax handles, they will appear here, and then you will see the total rate that appears to each of the taxes. Now, some businesses say they don't want the tax handles to appear on the invoices. So if you don't want the tax handle to appear on the invoices, you can still add the tax handles for internal calculations, but on the invoices may not appear, so it make it inactive. Inactive means it will not appear on the receipt. Active means it will appear on the receipt. Okay. So that is it, and once you have done that, you have successfully configured a tax handle. Now, some businesses also apply coupons and discounts, so as a way of driving their marketing and sales. So you can actually create a coupon code or a coupon name, a celebrity name here, put the code here, and then select the type of coupon, whether it's a percentage discount or a cash discount, and then basically put the rate and then comment. So your coupons are going to appear here. So it means that when you are selling on the POS interfaces, anybody or a customer who comes with this coupon will have a discount of either a cash discount of 10 cedis or a percentage discount of 10%. So that is how we manage your coupon list and your discount list. Now, once you do this, the general settings of the system is done. Now let's go up to how do you add products and how do you manage inventory and stock. So when you scroll up here, you see stock management. So we start from stock management before we come to product management. When you come to stock management, what happens? You click on stock. So stock are inventory items that you have in your stock. So if you're a restaurant, you can have Bedia spices, Banku sauce, all these items. If you are just a retailer or somebody who doesn't manufacture anything, then you can just have the name of the product as in your inventory as your stock in your inventory. So if it is Can Coke, Can Fanta, the same name as it is the product name, Can Fanta, Can Sprite. Now in the stock side, what is very important, to add a new stock, since you don't have any item in your stock, you have it here as like blank. So you click on add stock. When you click on add stock, you put in the name of the stock, okay, and then you put in the description of the stock if you want, then the cost of the unit of that stock, you put it here. But before you add stock, you have to go to your products here. You don't have any product in the system, but then you have to set up some features that the stock would be using, such as the category, the unit of measurement, and the brand. So before you add stock, you come to product and add a new category. What are categories? Categories are list of descriptions and categories of the product. So if you are in a pharmacy, you have medication, mixtures, tonics, all this stuff. If you are in a food business, then you have breakfast, supper, lunch, or you have different categories, rice dishes, and all of that. So you as a partner would need to understand the business and look at the categories of how to classify the products into. So how do you add a category? You click on once you click on category, you put the name of the category here and a term here to describe the category, or just a slug, and then basically a description of the category, and then you click on add. You will see that the category would appear here, the name of the category, the description, and then you can edit or delete it if you want by clicking on edit or delete if there was a mistake that you made, right? Once you set up all the categories, now the next is to come here and click unit of measurement. Unit of measurement, because we track every inventory according to its unit of measurement, you have to add whether they are selling the items according to pieces, they are selling it in liters, or they are selling it in kilograms, depending on the nature of the business. So if they are selling it in pieces, then you can add P here, or PCS, and it stands for pieces. Then you type the description here as pieces. Then you add, it will appear here. If you are selling it according to caps, then you have to type caps here and then type the description according to caps, and it will appear here. If it is liters, you just type L and then you type the description as liters, and it will appear here. If it is kg or kilograms, you just type the name as kg. The description is of course kilogram, as you can see the text here, and then you click on save. Once you save, it appears here. So you have all your unit of measurements in the system. Then finally, brands. So whether they are selling third-party brands or branded or unbranded, right? So you can put here the item is branded, and then you don't want to go into the specific brand, right? Then you put the slug as branded. The same thing, same here. Once you click on save, now you have your item appear here as branded. So whenever you are adding a stock, you can assign this feature as branded or unbranded, which means you are manufacturing that product yourself, okay, and your brand is not yet recognized. Or if you know any other brands like Geisha, what are some brands? Nutri Food, Nutri Snacks, all that, you can create all those brands in the system and assign them to what, and assign products to these brands, right? Okay, so now that you have set up the key features, let's go back to our stock management. You click on new stock. So new stock is where you add a new stock. So you put the name of the stock item or the product item here, the description, the unit rate, okay, is the cost. So if I'm selling can cook, I can say the stock I have is can cook, okay. The description, of course, is just can cook. One can cook, I buy it from the market, maybe 5 cedis, okay. Maybe they give it to me at a wholesale price at 5 cedis, right, for each. Okay, I can assign an item code if it's the first item as I'm adding as 1. Now, what is stock limit? Stock limit is we track the system. So if can cook reaches 2 in your stock, should we alert you or not? So you can say, okay, if it reaches 5, if it's left with 5 more, alert me, and then you set the stock limit to 5. So when you are selling and it reaches 5, it will alert you. Or if you go to the inventory on your stock level, it will tell you to reorder, right? So manufacturing stock, this is not a manufacturing stock because we don't use can cook to manufacture anything. We are selling it directly, so we are not going to select here. Do we enable it for the store? Yes, it's supposed to be enabled for the store. Now, what category does it fall under? The category it falls under is what? Maybe drinks. So that's where all the categories we created will appear here. Then we say select drinks, and then maybe the unit of measurement, right? The unit of measurement, as you can see over here, you select the unit of measurement, okay, and then whether it is we are selling it in pieces. Of course, can cook, we are selling it by pieces. We are not selling it by kilograms, liters, or cups. So we select pieces. Now, once we select those features, we can now go ahead. We can now go ahead and click on submit. So the moment we click on submit, it is going to what? Tell you new stock item added. So we've just added a stock to the system, as easy as that. Once we go to our stocks, we should see the stock item appear, the new stock item appear, can cook. So we can search for it, and this is the current can cook we just what added with the product code, okay. So you can edit it, you can view, you can delete if there's an issue. So we just added a stock item with the unit cost, market cost of it to the system. So you can add all your stock items one by one in your inventory, just as I've added. Or if you have it in Excel sheet, we can quickly import it. So you can download a sample template of the Excel sheet, okay, where you list all the names of the stock items, the unit of measurements as you have created in the system, then the cost price of each in the market, the category it is going to be assigned to. You can put the categories also here, all in capital letters as you are seeing here. And then each production is where we check whether it is a manufacturing stock or not. If it's not a manufacturing stock, you just put 0000. Manufacturing stock, we don't use it to manufacture anything. We are selling the item directly. So it is going to be 000000 here. And then the item code, you can assign a code or a QR code to each of these items. You can put your scanner here, then you scan, then it will appear, then you scan, then you scan, and then put it in the system. And then the item description obviously is the same as the item name. And then the reorder level is where you state whether if it is left with 1, alert me, 2, alert me, maybe 3, 4, alert me. So you can set your reorder level to 1 value. Maybe if it's all the items are left with 5, let me know. So the system will alert you. Once you are done with filling all this sheet, all you have to do is to come down here, choose the Excel sheet, select it, okay. And then once you select the Excel sheet, you just go ahead and then click on import. So the import is just right here. You select import, and then it will import everything you've put in that Excel sheet directly to what? Directly to your stock element, so that you don't have to be adding. So you see all the items appear here in your stock, so that you don't have to be adding it one by one, to make your life easy, right? You can import it at once. Okay, so once you are able to do this, you have successfully imported your Excel sheet for your stock items. Okay, now the stock items that you have added, we have to take quantity and you have to take count. So what does that mean? So you click on stock level. Okay, you click on what? Your stock level or your stock balance. Your stock balance is where you record the remaining quantities of the items. So once you come to your stock balance, you select the branch you are going to record the remaining quantities for. Maybe the new branch you created, you select it. Okay, and then you select the date, which is today's date. Then you just scroll to the left like this, and you should see the remaining quantities of your items here as 0000, because you've not added any remaining quantity. So what do? So you ask yourself, Bedia Spices, how many quantity do I have left, or how many pieces? The unit of measurement is always going to be attached to the item. How many pieces do I have? Maybe I have 2 pieces. Then you put it here. Banku, how many pieces do I have? I have 3 pieces. So you do all of that for the items that you have. So when you are down, when you scroll all the way down and you get to the first 20 items, okay, and you've put all the remaining quantities, you just have to select save. You click on save, and what you know that it will ask you to confirm. Once you confirm, it will load and then add the quantities, and you will see the remaining quantities now appearing all over here for all the items you've added. So now it means you have restocked the system with what you have currently in your shop. The powerful thing about Datana ERP is that you only do this first time when you are setting up for the business, because any other restocking will be done through purchases, because we track through purchases. So you don't have to come and manually adjust this level unless there is a need for you to do that, right? Unless there is actually a need for you to do that. But ideally, you don't have to be doing the restocking every day. You just do it once when you are starting to use the system. Any other addition to stock will be done through purchases. Once you purchase and approve the purchase, the system will automatically acknowledge it in your inventory. Okay, so this is how you track your stock. And if you want to check your stock level and your remaining stock quantity, just click on stock balance. Now, what is trash bucket, transfer, and requisition? Trash bucket is basically a place where you report if something has gone to waste, something has been destroyed, or something has gone bad. Okay, so how do you create your trash bucket? You search the item that has gone to waste, you add the quantity that has gone to waste, select the date, select the branch that wastage happened, add the description, and then down here you click on add to list. So you create a cart of all these items. Then once you are done, you save wastage. Okay, once you are done, you save wastage. All right, so your system will know that the item has gone to waste, and it will report it, and then it will be tracked accordingly. Transfer is basically when you have items that needs to be stock items that needs to be transferred from one branch to another. So you can add a new transfer, and as you can see on the new transfer, you are able to add all the items you are supposed to transfer. You search for the item here, select the store, the date, first of all the date of the transfer, the store you are transferring the items for, and the store you are transferring the item to. You search the item, maybe can cook, it will appear here, of can Fanta, the quantity I'm transferring 20 pieces of can Fanta, and then I'll select all the items I'm transferring. I can add maybe can cook, another 20 pieces of can cook, and then I'll add. So I'm building a catalog of all the items that will be transferred. When I'm done, I'll just click on proceed to transfer, and then the item will be moved from the inventory of the branch you are moving it from to the inventory of the branch you are moving it to, and it will be tracked according to the system, right? Okay, now I can remove this or edit it, and if I'm not interested in transferring. So that's how you transfer inventory items from one branch to another, and it is tracked. And then what we have, what we call Requisition is basically if there is a need for a request list. This feature is not mostly used much because people just go straight forward and purchase, but you can put a request of items in the system. So you can create a new request. As you can see, some requests are pending, some have been approved. So if a request is pending, what it means that we are saying that we are requesting for cabbage and we are requesting for this quantity, right? So any manager comes into the system to know the items that are on request, and then they can print this and then go out and purchase these items. They can print this invoice by clicking on print, and then once you click on print, you can take it to the market and go and search for them and then purchase it. Once you purchase and you bring the invoice, you can come and purchase and then put the item in the purchases. So let's quickly move to purchases. How do you purchase? To purchase an item, there is stock purchases and expenses. Expenses to track daily expenses of the business, and stock purchase only for items that they sell. So how do you create a purchase? You click on add purchase. So let's say you've gone to the market, you've already purchased the item, you have the invoice. You have to click here to select the supplier. That's why we added suppliers from the beginning. So maybe you bought it from open market, you bought it from Joseph. Once you select or you bought it from frozen foods, okay, so you select them and then their details already come. It means that whatever purchases we've made from that invoices and we are entering it here will appear in this person's account. If there's any notes, maybe you add it there, first purchase. If there's any discount that was applied, or they give you some discount, maybe some 20 cedis discount, you can add it. Then the payment method, you select the payment method, whether you paid by cash or you paid by credit. Means you are credited it to you and you are going to be paying it later as accounts payable. So depending on the cash, if you select cash, bank or credit, the accounting side will already do the accounting at the back end and tell you that you already use cash to pay for these inventory items, and debit the inventory and credit your cash. Again, if you are selecting credit, of course, accounts payable means money you have to pay later, right? So it will debit your inventory and credit your accounts payable as general accounting principle. All right, so let's say I'm paying this supplier by cash. I'm not owing them, so I pay them for the item. The date of my purchase is to be on the invoice you received. Then the items that were on the invoice, so I can select maybe can cook, right? How many? The price is already set in the system. Okay, if there's any adjustment of the price, you can adjust it here and change this value here. How many quantity did I purchase? Maybe I purchased 50 pieces, so I can click on add. Again, I'm building a catalog of all the items that were on the invoice, right? So maybe if I bought maybe any other thing like Gary, okay, the quantity is here, so you can select maybe 5, and then maybe I bought something else, maybe can Fanta, right, or can Sprite or can Fanta, right? Again, the price is already in the system, so if there's any adjustment to the price, you adjust this here and the system will do the adjustment accounting accordingly. So once you build a catalog of all the items that you have in your inventory, it can be any item you have in your inventory, right? So you can just type the first name of the item, even if it is banku that you went to buy, or bay leaf, cabbage, pedia spices, but anything that you have in your inventory, right? Pharmacies, maybe amami dagomba, all these items are here. Boba seed, depending on the nature of the business, right? So once you add everything to your catalog, and then now you have everything listed here, you check the total price and everything that appears here, right? You just click on proceed. So once you click on proceed to purchase, you confirm it, and then once you scroll that, tells you your purchase has been done successfully. It is pending in the system. So once you go to purchases, okay, stock purchases, which is the down here, purchases and expenses. Once you go to stock purchase, you see the new order you've put in the system here. Okay, so maybe once this is assigned by a store manager or a manager to just put it in the system, you can come again, do edits and modification to this order, change the price, and maybe there's an issue, you can do your update here. Once you are done with the update, you can come here and view the invoice, compare it to what you have received from the third party or who you purchased the item from, and then quickly authorize. Once you authorize this purchase, it is going to affect your journal entry, it's going to affect your general ledger, it's going to affect your accounting. So once you click on authorize, yes, authorize this purchase, okay, authorize this purchase, yes, approve it, okay. Now it is authorized. So now your inventory level for that particular product you've purchased has automatically increased. So there's no need for you to go into the system and try to go and manually add and restock. So once you purchase, your levels for inventory, when you go to your stock level here, and you click on stock balance or stock level, you can use any of them, and you select the branch for which you made the purchase. Maybe I made the purchase for Atomic branch. Okay, it will what? Automatically increase your remaining quantities here. Then the POS interface can continue selling. All right, so now the next part is expenses. So expenses is where you do general expenses about the business. So maybe you are going to purchase something, maybe you purchase electricity. Again, the supplier here will be ECG in the system, so that all payment for electricity is tracked according to the ECG account. So you can select maybe open market. I went to Medina market, or in the open market means that there is no specific supplier. I just found it somewhere and I bought it. There is no specific supplier. Then maybe I didn't get any discount. Maybe note, maybe second purchase of Dettol. Maybe I bought Dettol for cleaning or something like that, or washing detergent or something like that. Maybe I paid by cash or I bought it on credit. So you can basically come here and then filter the item or put the name of the item. Maybe I bought Dettol, the date, the quantity I bought. Maybe I bought 2 pieces, and then the price for those 2 pieces cost me maybe 30 cedis. I can just build a catalog and add. So I can, all the expenses that are happening, maybe cleaning, all these expenses, the daily expenses of the business, I can record them here, and then I can just proceed and then what, add this process, and then it is in the system. Now when you go to expenses, you can see all the list of daily expenses that as the business is incurring, right? So it is pending. Again, you can come here, make modifications, and then approve. Okay, once I come here to approve this expense, now the moment I authorize it, it will automatically affect the accounting. Now I can create several other expense accounts. I can create utilities, daily expenses, and assign this expense to any account and use it to track. So yes, I approve it, and now it is approved in the system. It will do the debiting and crediting and the journal entry automatically based on this transaction I've done, right? So if you now do that, accounting, I can see this is the accounting side of the business. It is already doing the background work based on all the inputs and the purchases we are doing. It is doing that, so you don't have to finish and come and do everything manually. It is already doing it for you automatically. Now, products. We've talked so much about stock. Let's move to products. What is product section? The product section captures all the items that will appear on the POS interface and the selling prices. With Datana ERP, there are 3 price points. We have what we call the retail price, which is basically the standard price, which is done by businesses that keep one price for all their products. And then we have what we call the wholesale price, okay? And then we have what we call the special pricing. So one product, you, the business owner, can choose. If I'm selling it for you, just one, I'm selling it at 42 cedis, 33 pesos. But if I'm selling it at a wholesale, maybe I'm selling one at maybe 35 cedis. So you can choose to stick with one pricing and leave this to be 000. I mean, you don't do wholesale and special sale, okay? Because each interface is different. So the retail pricing interface is different, the wholesale pricing interface is different, and the special sale interface is different. Now, once you add a product, how do you add a product? You click on add product, because all the categories you've created will be here. You click on add product. You put the name of the product here, right? And then you put, maybe I'm selling a product called iPhone. So I can put the iPhone here. Okay, let me say I'm selling a product called Can Cook, because we work with Can Cook a lot. So I can put the Can Cook. Now, if the product is the same as the inventory items you had, the name should be the same so that it can track. So Can Cook, remember we added Can Cook. When you go to stock, we added Can Cook as a stock item. Okay, this is as a stock, but then Can Cook as a product must bear the same name. So when we go to product, we are going to type exactly the same name here as product, so that the system will acknowledge that it is the same can cook that we had in the system. Okay, then we added the product description. It is can cook. Okay, if you have the picture of the product, you can upload it here. You can select the image and upload it so that it will look beautifully on your online store. And then the barcode, of course, if you have a scanner, you can scan the barcode of the product and put it here, or you can assign a specific batching or barcoding system that you want to run. Again, that is depending on the kind of business you are running. And then the product code, of course, will be your product number 1. Then the base price is, of course, your standard selling price. So we are selling one can cook for 10 cedis. Remember, we bought it around 5 cedis. Maybe if I'm selling it for wholesale, I'll consider selling each for 9 cedis. If I'm selling it for my special customers, maybe I'll consider selling for 8 cedi 50 pesos. Okay, this is 9.0. This is maybe 10.0. It's a taxable product, means that taxes apply to that product. Of course, the barcode is, there's no scanner, so I'm not using the scanner. And then click on make available online. Okay, deactivate for outlets here means we don't want it to show on any of the POS in any of the other branches, right? But here it's not important. What is important here is to select, you publish, select publish, and then select the category, which is drinks, and then select the brand. It's a branded product, right? So you click on submit. Now your product is successfully added. As you can see here, the price at which you are selling it as your base price will be the one we show you here. Now this product is not linked to any item in your inventory, so we are going to link it. So you click on add more. Then we are going to link can cook to what? One can cook in our inventory. If we sell can cook on the POS, it should deduct one can cook from our inventory. This is what we are trying to do. Once you do this, what it means is that you are going to add, click on add here, and then the moment you click on add, it will add the item to your bill of material. So you can have can cook now. When you go to can cook now, you can see that if we sell one piece of can cook, we are making a profit of around 8.4%. What does that mean? It means that when we go to our products and we look at can cook as a product, okay, if you look at can cook as a product, which is this can cook we added over here, when we click on view, we can see that the can cook is now linked to one can cook item in our inventory. The cost of buying one can cook from the market is 7.41 cedis, and now we are selling it for 10 cedis. So if you go to our products, we should see, before we even start selling, we should see for all the products the profit margins we are making on all the products. For our retail price, if there is a wholesale price, you should see the wholesale profit margin. If there's a special sale, we should see the special sale profit margin before we even start selling on the POS interface. So once you set up the system this way, it becomes good. Now let's say the business you are setting up for is not a straightforward business who just goes and buy the same can cook and come and sell the same can cook, or buy the same medicines and come and sell it, right? But they manufacture. How do you handle that situation? If they manufacture the product, let's take an example of a product like coffee latte. Coffee latte is a very popular product by some cafes and restaurants in the country. Coffee latte contains coffee stock, coffee latte milk, fresh milk, branded paper cup, plastic lid, napkin, and maybe sugar. So all these items you have here that are linked to the product called coffee latte, when you add a product called coffee latte and you put the selling price there, okay, as you can see, just put the name of the product. All right, so basically, once you basically add the coffee latte as a product, okay, and you've saved changes, once you go to your product, you should see coffee latte appear as a product. Now coffee latte is a product that you can add all the ingredients or the bill of material associated. So you come here, but first when you add, there will be nothing here, but you must make sure you have the names of all these items, or these items are already part of your stock items. They've already been added at new stock with their unit of measurement and the cost and everything at new stock. Then once you come and you click on the product coffee latte, you can click on add more. Okay, on the right hand side you should see the list of all the items and their remaining quantities that goes into coffee latte. How do you add the items here? You go to the inventory, then you search, okay, fresh milk, coffee latte contains fresh milk, so you search for fresh milk. Then according to your standard of production, how many liters of milk should you add? So maybe I'm adding 0.02 liters of milk. Then you click on add. So it will appear here as fresh milk added 0.02 liters, and then associated consumption cost will appear over here. So if you keep adding and it is more than the cost of production is more than the selling price, you begin to see that your profit margin is in the negative, meaning that after taxes or after deducting taxes, after paying your taxes, you are making a loss on that product. So that you know that I have to review the quantities that I'm using to manufacture the product. Okay, so this is how you add all the individual elements. So you can add all the individual elements that goes into the product and build a whole bill of material. And now when you sell one piece of coffee latte, we are going to go into the inventory and deduct the quantities of consumption. We are going to take away the napkin, we are going to take away the quantities of sugar, we are going to track and take away the quantities of milk. So that is how we track all your production items, even all your produced items that you are selling, even once you've produced them and then once you have begun to sell them. Now, we've talked about stock management, we've talked about setting up the system, we've talked about how to add your products and link your product to your inventory. We've talked all about that. What is also very important to discuss is the sales part of the business. The sales part of the business is where one of the key areas. So how do you start selling? Once you've configured and put all the items and the products and everything in the system, we have what you call sales. So sales, when you come to sales, this is where you have a general breakdown of the total sales of all the branches. You can search for dates for all the total sales for any given date. You can go to user report, print sales, export sales summary, payment summary, product report, advanced category report, right? You can delve into it right from here. You can also have a summary of all the invoices you've processed for that particular day. So today we've not done any sales, so there's nothing here. But if I go back to maybe an earlier date and I click on apply filter, I should be able to see maybe back in the days some sales that we've done, right? So you can see all the invoices appearing here. So I can go on each sales invoice and see what has been sold, right? The total cost, who it has been sold to, every information you need about that sale, the bill of material cost and everything to appear over here, right? Now, that being said, when I go back, held transactions. So what is held transactions? Held transactions actually is used by businesses that have to take time to process the order, then approve it at a later date. So we can hold a transaction in the system. Now, when somebody places an order from your online shop, we hold it here for you to come and view the order, do changes on the order if you want, add items, remove items based on availability, and then go ahead and then select the mode of payment and complete the order, right? So if an online order comes from your website or from your online store, the customer placed the order, will alert you via SMS, but the order will be held here as pending in the system, meaning it is not affecting the system yet. You can even delete it if there is a fallout. You can print it out and then use it for whatever purpose you want to use it for. Now that's the purpose of held transaction. Let's say somebody comes to the restaurant and they open a tab, they are still ordering, they have a table assigned to them. You can use that concept to hold the order until all they are done eating and everything that they have taken is calculated in the held transaction side is held, and then you can just complete this order as a proper completed order. Okay, so that is the purpose of the held transaction. Quotations are like maybe a business asks you to bring a quote for them to analyze, so you can put a quotation in the system and send them a quote, or prepare a quote and send it to them. Now, this is the selling interface. The Datana POS is the general standard selling interface. It's very easy. If you have a scanner, you can scan the item, it appears, and then you select it, or you can just search the item the person is buying. If they're buying can cook, I can just go into the can cook. The quantity they are buying, maybe they're buying 3, then I can just select can cook. It will appear here. If I want to increase the quantity, I can increase it to maybe 5 or 4, or reduce it back to the original quantity. If I want to put, if you don't want to, it's a walk-in customer, I can just, I'm not taking any information about the customer, but I can personalize this order and put the name of the customer, their branch, their number, their number, and then their location, and maybe any notes. Okay, I can put it there and then add more items, whatever they are buying, so I can keep adding, right? So if I'm scanning too, I can keep scanning, right? So I'm adding all these items here, and then adjusting the quantity. I can delete, I can remove that item if I don't want it. Then in this case, depending on the type of account, this is a restaurant account, so we assign a table to this number. If they are paying upfront, there's no need to assign any table. The payment type is whether they are paying by cash, card, Momo, bank, or credit. So cash payment, the total amount received, of course, as you can see here, is 0. The total amount received, as you can see, is 0, but you can put your 384 there as you've received that money. You can apply discount to this transaction or a coupon to this transaction. You can hold this transaction if you want. Okay, once you hold the transaction, it will be held, but I've not held it, so it's still processing the order waiting for me. I can punch it, means I can print a KOT and take it to the kitchen, and then the kitchen staff can prepare this item. Okay, the kitchen staff can prepare that item, or I can just cancel this transaction, okay, if I want. So but I want to process the transaction, so I can go ahead and complete this transaction as a completed transaction, and then it will print the receipt for me, as you can see, and the printer, it prints it out, and then I am done with that transaction. Now that I have processed this transaction, okay, I can print the receipt if I want, and then if I want to do a new sale, I can click on new sale, yes, then I'll serve the next customer, right? So now I can go to my orders. So order toolkit is where we manage all the order that I just placed in the system. So you click on orders, and I can see my order here is what being prepared in the kitchen, or is being done. Okay, now if it is ready, the salesperson at the POS will mark this as ready. Okay, and then if I have a kitchen display, to display all the items that are pending and all the items that are ready. Okay, or items that are, or a queue. So any order that comes and is processed will appear here, so that the kitchen staff can see it. Okay, or the queue, so you can see that this order that I marked as ready is ready. So if I placed a new order, if I go to the POS interface, okay, let's go to the POS interface. Let's say I'm placing an order for Fanta, okay, or something that needs to be cooked, let's say, okay, anything at all, okay, that needs to be prepared, maybe coffee latte. Okay, so it means that we don't have coffee latte in our stock, so you can't sell to 0. If the item is done, you cannot sell. But let's say, let's assume that this is an item that we are buying, and then we are supposed to prepare this item for the customer in the case of a restaurant. So once the order is put in the system and we check out, we can print the receipt if you want, and then take it to the kitchen, and then basically you can see that if you go to your kitchen display, the item appears on the kitchen display, right, and the timer appears on it, so your chef and your staff in your kitchen can know. But if you are not into a restaurant business and you are just a pharmacy and you are just like a retail business that's selling in your convenience store, you don't need these features. This is extra features for restaurants to manage. So the time, so a business owner can come in and look at the display and look at, this order came so long, why are you not, have you not done it, right? And then if you are looking at the pending, these are all, it will be pending. So if we finish and then the salesperson completes this order, it will disappear from the queue, right? If you go to the queue, if this thing reloads again, this order would what is complete, so it will disappear. And if I go here and I complete this order also, it will disappear from the queue, right? You won't see it anymore in the queue when this reloads. Okay, the first one was done, so it disappeared. Once this page refreshes again, this must also what disappear. As you can see, it goes off. Now the kitchen display too is the space for new orders to come in. That is how we manage your kitchen for you, right? So that is how you sell. So the POS interface, how do you go? You go to sales, then you go to Datana POS. Now if you do wholesale and special sale, if you are doing anything that is wholesale, you have to come to the wholesale portal, same as the POS interface, but now it is what? Wholesale. You see wholesale here. So these are all wholesale pricing. So you can process your wholesale order here again, hold it, complete it, apply discount, and do whatever you want to do. And then you can also go back again and do your special sale for special customers here, right? Again, special pricing applies here. Okay, so it's the same interface, but then you are doing a special sale. Okay, so it's easy to use Datana for any price points that you have. And then basically create an invoice. And a call center is where, if you are big and you have a call center, you can assign an account to call center people to pick an order, process the order, and assign the order to any of your branches that is closer to the person ordering the item, right? So the call center people can also have an account on the system to put invoices or hold invoices or put invoices to specific branches in the system. right? So it's very easy. And then the final part about the sales part is the shop link. So you have an online shop. If you are on Datana ERP, the online shop will basically list all the items you are selling. So you can copy this link here and do a QR code with it or share with your customers. They can add items to cart. Okay, if the item is out of stock, they cannot find it, but they can add items to cart as I'm doing here from their end. Okay, and then they can basically check out and put their name, the branch they are buying from, Legon branch, maybe their notes, any special notes, and then the payment type they are paying by cash, and click on checkout. The moment they click on checkout, the order will be processing. Once it processes, it tells them that their order is placed successfully. They will receive an SMS alert of the order, as well as you, the shop, receive an SMS alert. So when you come back to your shop and you go to pending or held transaction as a business owner, you should see that order which we just placed here right now, Legon, for the Legon branch. And I can see the order and the items that were selected. As you can see, these were the items are selected. If I go to personalize, I should see the name of the customer here, their mobile number and the location, and I can select, confirm the payment method they are using, whether they are paying by cash indeed, and then checkout. If they are splitting payments, some say, oh, I'll pay half by cash, half by Momo. You can split the payment also in the system, and then I'll complete this order, right? So now I've just completed this order that has come from the online portal, which is the store you are seeing over here. They can also search for items, categories, search any item they are looking for, blah blah blah, add to cart, and easily check out to make your life easier. So even if you are not connected to the internet, you are going to be receiving orders from your customers by SMS. So you have the SMS order as well, right? Okay. So basically that is the point of Datana ERP, to make life easier for our businesses. Now we have a fair understanding of how the software works, what things are required to set up. Now let's talk about how to generate the reports. So the accounting. So we start with accounting. The accounting setup, basically, if you're an accountant, you know what your chart of account is. So the system automatically configures all these accounts in the system once the account is created. But you as an accountant can add a new account for any special purpose you want. So if you want, you just need to select whether it's an asset, liability, expense, income, and then assign specific description to this account. Okay, the name of the account, the code, of course, is going to be 101. If it's not a 101 account, it means you can leave it optional and add an optional code to determine that account. And then the starting balance, if you want, you can leave it at 00, and then save. Once you click on save, and you create, then that account will be part of your general ledger. Now it will become part of your accounts. So your general ledger is a list of all the accounts you have, both system configured accounts. 101 accounts are systems given accounts. You can't do anything about them. Then you can add your own extra accounts to manage any aspect of the business if you're an accountant, right? So each account keep records of every transaction that happens. So all the sales we've processed, as you can see, when you open the revenue account, for example, when you go to income, the account that track our sales revenue is the sales revenue 101. Once you view it, you should see all the sales that we were doing, sales revenue, every sale, and then the total cost of that sale is going here. It's appearing here. So the system is already doing the ledger and everything, the journal entries. So when you come down to journal, down there, journal entry, every transaction that is done in the system is captured. So when we do a sale, it affects inventory, it affects your COGS, it affects your tax payable, it affects your sales revenue, it affects your discount or your cash. So these are the 6 standard accounts that are affected, and all the balances and the running balances are computed. Credit, debit, everything is doing it for you. So your job is, at the end of the day, go to reports as an accountant, okay, and then you can generate your income statement, your balance sheet, your trial balance, and everything. So for example, when you click on income statement, starting this year, this is the transactions we've done. So we have our sales revenue, our discount received, our expenses, COGS and daily expense, total expense, and then we can see our net income. So this is the power of Datana ERP, to base on all the transactions, your predictions, your purchases, your everything, to generate a report for you to ensure that you are able to know the true state of your business, right? So you can generate other accounting reports. Okay, you can generate other accounting reports. You can do your account summary, your cash flow, your balance sheet. Everything is generated for you. Okay, once the account is set up, you can know your balance sheet, you can know your assets, your liabilities, and everything. You can expand this and add several accounts on top and make it more comprehensive and more detailed with depreciation expense and all these things, right? Depending on the level of accounting you want to operate at, right? So now this is where you generate all your accounting and financial reports. Now we have what we call audit and sales reports. So once you go to your sales report, you should be able to generate your revenue by outlet, your tax summary, your salesperson summary. You should be able to generate your cost of sales, your sales and profit summary, which is one of the most important summaries for you to audit the business, right? So these are all 7 or 8 standard reports concerning your sales that you can generate. You can just click the outlet. Maybe I'm interested in the atomic branch, and then maybe select the date of interest. Maybe I'm interested in just this month, and then maybe you want to look at it daily. Okay, and then you generate reports. Once you click on generate reports, it should generate the report for you. As you can see, you can actually export or print this report. You can click on print and then print this report and use it for any other purposes. So to generate reports, just go to reports. Okay, sales report, just go to reports, okay, and then generate any other reports, right? So now you can also generate purchase reports for your purchases, and you can also generate other reports, okay, or inventory reports. So your stock ledger, your transfers, your manufacturing, your production level volumes, you can generate all further reports here, your purchases, your wastages. You can generate all the reports over here, right? Now that being said, we have what we call the AI and then the analysis. So the AI is where we basically help you do advanced AI analysis on your business. So if you want to, based on advanced technology, and take advantage and ask questions concerning your sales revenue, your cost, your payroll, your customers, your ledgers, you can ask the AI any question and it will generate the response for you. So you can just say, summarize my sales for this month. Click on ask Naki, and then once it is your sales revenue data that is selected, it will run. It will run, and once it is telling you it is running, it is analyzing, and I can see it is what it is describing everything for you, your total revenue and your breakdown by product and everything. So again, you can specify the value to be in Ghana cedis, of course, and then it will do everything for you. So the significant transaction, so it's giving you more insight into your sales just by giving it that data, right? And this is very important for businesses, for businesses to know what is happening with their business. Or if you don't want to use the AI interface to ask questions, we can move from the dashboard and then select your sales analytics. So these are raw analytics that have been done by the system. So you can select sales analytics and then look at all the sales, your sales analytics and graphs associated, product performance. Again, look at all the products and what is happening with your products. You can download and export these. Your profitability, again, you can research into that. Your trends, you can research into your trends. You can do this search for the all branches or select specific branches you want to narrow down upon, and advanced insights and all analysis. So this analysis, we encourage partners to take their time and go through them one by one, because I can't go through all of them. There are lots. Okay, all right. So apart from your sales revenue, you can also do customer analysis to learn more about your customers, right? So maybe you can select the data for your customers, maybe for the period that you are interested in or something like that, and then you can look at your customer metrics and sales you've done, right? All your customers, the most loyal customers, the most spending customers, the price point average analysis, recency, frequency, and monetary analysis. You can do all of that. Your inventory analysis, your human resource analysis, sales forecasting, financial forecasting, supply chain, demand forecasting, and true picture. These are all several analyses that we run for you to understand how your business is doing. So you can take your time as a partner and explore each and every one of these, or go to the dashboard and then begin to interact with the AI engine and asking it questions by selecting the tables you want it to take into consideration for you, right? All right, so that brings us towards the end of our presentation. We are not done yet. When you go to dashboard, we have other visuals. So if you are more of a visual person who want to be analyzing things based on graphs, based on analysis, you can come here and do your visual analysis here. All you have to do is to go to your dashboard and click on visual. Okay, select the branch you are interested in and do all the visual analysis you want to do concerning the business, right? Okay, so HRM is a portal for our human resource part. Remember, Datana is an ERP. So here your HR can come here and add all the employees and their details, their salary structure, their leave management, employee management, departments and designation, add department, add designations or titles and roles, attendance tracking, absences. If there is overtime and absences, they can track that. Can process payroll, deductions and earning, tax rules. The tax rules are, you can create different tax rules: pension tier 1, income tax, social security, pension tier 3, all other taxes that are supposed to apply. Transfers is like movement of an employee from one branch to another and all of that. Payroll processing and all payrolls that are processed and everything, we keep the records here. So your HR can actually manage the employees using the HR portal. Okay, all right, so that brings us to the end of our presentation for our tutorial for partners. I know this might be a lot of information to take in for once, but hey, practice is by doing, and to become perfect you have to do. So if you are a partner and you have the heart and the desire to help businesses out there to set up Datana ERP as a software for these businesses to use, then I would encourage you to take your time, watch this video from the beginning to the end. Take your time again, go back. When you are going to do the setup, just watch the video, follow the instructions accordingly, and you should be good to set up for your first ever business on Datana ERP. Remember, Datana ERP, when you become a partner, you earn a percentage of the revenue that your businesses that you set up for are also paying for. And so together with you, we know we can build a very strong family and a very strong community of business developers, strong community of accountants, strong community of IT managers, strong community of product managers, in order to carry this Datana ERP software to the ends of the world. Thank you for your time. My name is Joey. Bye-bye.